Yes, sir. Monday Night Raw is officially on deck. Shout out to I Rep Ghana in the chat. Late again, I see. Yeah, nigga. We late. And we put it,
CPT.
and we pushed the T back. We put
Yeah,
the time back.
motherfucker.
We put it in the chat that we loading up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we late.
No
And we're
sound.
sorry for being late. But that passive aggressive shit, don't do that. You know what I mean? We communicate. When we run it late, we usually communicate that we run a little bit behind. Again, we are men with jobs and families,
I've been
So
noticing
it's
a lot of
That's a
passive
fact.
aggression in the comments. And
yo,
Lately, what's going
take
on?
that shit somewhere else, y'all.
facts.
Good ass, bro.
And then when we get aggressive in response,
Chill out, guys. Chill out.
Like, hold on.
I see a lot
Everybody
of
Leave
folks
passive
and-
aggression to Drake and Aubrey's Angels, bro.
Facts.
Like y'all
Oh
should.
man.
Everybody knows that we put a time up there. It's usually a window. It's not exactly the time. Every now and again, we stick the landing. It be that time, but for the most part, it's never that time. Because again, we have jobs,
Life.
families, commutes, and then as we all know, we're all adults here. Life can sometimes life, and when that
Children,
happens,
babies.
CPT a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
nigga,
Just a little bit.
come on now.
Building
Our
furniture
apologies,
around the new
homie
crib.
Ghana.
Like there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah,
But we
But
here
I
for y'all
digress.
niggas. What's up? What's the vibes?
I digress. What's good, chat fellas? What's good? How was y'all weekend, man?
Oh man.
Send talk to me.
Weekend was litty. At least half my weekend.
Yeah, Bernard, we late explaining because we love our audience, so we can tell them why we fucking late.
Gotta, come on,
Bernard.
man. Gotta keep it around.
Non-creative ass name. The fuck, Bernard. The fuck out of here, man. Hey, carry on, fellas. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
man.
Nah, man. Weekend was litty. Puerto Rican vibes all weekend long. I was only able to really participate on Sunday vibes at the actual parade. I had to miss out the festival this weekend for the first time in a lot of years, but I had a lot of shit to do on Saturday, so I couldn't get to that. But Sunday it was lit. You know what I mean? I go out there. I get my little plate of food. I find somebody. You know what I mean? That's got the arroz con gandule, the pernil, the pastelito, all that shit. You know what I mean? Pay my little $20 for the plate of food. That's what it is today. You know what I mean? I saw some people
Damn it,
complaining. I saw some people complaining.
How much was the
it's
food?
$20 for the plate. It's steep,
Well,
but
some, son, it's a
it's,
couple dollars.
bro,
I'm
it's
gonna
20.
be getting
it's-
some oxtail for $20.
dig?
Bro.
Like, that's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Bro, it's
extra gravy.
2024. It's 2024. It's on location. It's on deck. You know what I mean? You got to pay a little premium
Them
for
smoked
you know
pig
what I mean?
shoulders
Bring,
and
bringing
cheeks
all
in.
that shit out through the entire crowd. I mean, you got to support the
dig it.
people.
I don't
They
know.
had no
about
drinks
that.
out there?
Listen, I saw a lot of people. They was eating. They had drinks too. You know what I mean? I got myself a little bottle pina colada. That shit was
Absolutely.
15.
You spent
That shit hit.
$15
15
for a
on-
12
was it-
ounce of
No. But let me be clear about this.
Okay.
The shit was official. Like it had the little pieces of like actual coconut in it. That
Pineapple
shit
and
was
shit.
fresh,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Okay.
That shit was fresh. So she did her thing. The lady that cooked the food, she did her thing. So like,
Plus, at
know,
a parade, it's always going to be highway
Was
robbery.
Abuela doing the cooking up?
yeah,
Good
yeah, you
shoulder
know,
and arm in there.
you know,
Sir.
yeah,
the
got
pot.
the shoulder for the pork shoulder. You know what I
You
mean?
dig?
I mean,
It was
ain't nothing
smoked
like
pork.
Hispanic. You okay? Like that. I be trying to make that
Yeah.
shit in the crib, and I'm not even Hispanic. It ain't it
Yo.
don't go wrong.
It's crazy because like something as simple as rice and beans, like even that's like a mastery. You feel me? So salute to them
man.
for getting that shit right always, man.
Yeah, man. That and then specifically for those out there that think I'm some other. I have some other lineage.
A white guy.
Yeah, Puerto
Crazy.
Rican, bro. You know what I mean? I always rep that shit. Always felt like that shit. You know what I mean? Like, growing up in New York, East Harlem. Now I live in LES. LES is super Puerto Rican too. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I got a lot of connections.
You don't even white lean with the lingo, so it's so confusing.
I don't understand
Oh.
I mean, I could code switch a little something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To get by in this society. But
ain't nothing wrong with that. But like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
The part of the
I don't
game,
get it.
man.
But
He's
I have
white.
to get I have
Yo.
to get the tunes on deck too. You know what
Facts.
I mean? Was going through the Big Pun catalog, was going through the Fat Joe catalog. Then I started thinking, I was like, yo, like that shit was like, Pun was over 20 years ago. Fat Joe's still in the game, but his big impact was like 20 years ago. I'm like, if you a rapper out there, you Puerto Rican, let yourself be known, bro. Put yourself, you know what I mean? Like just bum rush the game, put yourself out there, see if we could, make some moves for our people. Not, some people might feel a certain way about it. I'm not saying like we got to take the game over. I'm just saying, it's been a little while since the Puerto Ricans had a little bit of representation in the game. And the representation we had, Pun was crazy. Fat Joe, I know how people feel about Fat Joe, but he made bangers.
Now, Fat Joe, old Don, bro. We can't keep this.
Exactly. But how some people feel about him out there.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
he put in his work though, bro. At the end of the day,
I'm just saying, man, we need.
Hey,
but there might not be no like superstars out there as far as like in the game, but there's some nice niggas out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Feeve. You know what I'm saying? UFO Feeve. Shout out to Spanish Ren.
Honestly, Feeve. He could be the next one. Like he puts out a lot of good music. I don't know what I don't know what the politics are behind the scenes. It doesn't seem like he has like strong backing, but like project for project, Feeve does a high level of rapping. You know what I mean?
Aldo,
but it seems like it's some political shit that's holding him back from my perspective because I don't see him in the conversations like he should be.
That's why he should pull up over here and talk about it. You know what
Joel Ortiz for sure.
Of course, yeah,
man.
You know what I mean?
In the game. He should have made a bigger mark too, I feel, but like I don't know. The creative direction wasn't quite there for him.
I see Michael Brown saying if the food's quality and hearty, I got no problem dropping 20 for a plate. I too don't have problems dropping 20 for a plate. I ain't skinny by any means. But I'm just saying, if I'm dropping a dub on a plate, that plate better be exquisite with sides. It
was him.
Pork and rice. I gotta get some sides.
It was
some plantains. There's a plantains on
there. It was potato salad.
Cabbage salad on the side.
I need the potato salad. I need the plantains. That you know what I noticed? I be trying to go to the supermarket and I buy the plant. I don't know how to put this is a rap show movie here, but I try to buy the plantains and I never get it right. But every time I go to the Hispanic restaurant, whether it's the Mexican, the Dominican, the Puerto Rican spot, they always got the sweet joints, and I get mad. I was like, I can never get this right.
Fry on low, that's the secret.
Nah, bro, it ain't gonna make it sweeter, Dini.
Got to get the sweet yellow plantain and fry on slow.
And then the old Caribbeans say that you gotta let it get almost like a little brown on the skin and all of that. I do all of that, and the shit still don't be sweet, bro.
Well, keep it a beat. If you get the joint that's like damn near actually dark brown, that'll be the sweetest plantain you ever had, but it'll be wild mushy though. But it'll be the sweetest plantain you've ever had. Shit is hitting different.
But enough about cooking with the rap brown tape.
Real quick, J Mac mentioned Chris Rivers. I mean, you know what I mean? All respect and shouts to Chris Rivers. He's dead nice. Took after his pops. But what's the Chris Rivers song?
You know what's crazy? Wasn't we just talking about him Friday night?
Yeah. And the same way you feel like something's holding him back. It feel like something's holding him back. I don't know what it is either. It's not skill because the niggas dog nice. It's
politics, man. It's all politics. But
some people might point the finger at Fat Joe. So
true.
You know what I mean,
the whole Rivers family does. That's
That's why I say, I know how some people feel about Fat Joe, but he had bangers, he had hits.
Let's get into it though. For the culture, bangers, hits, not culture. Hottest guy in the game right now. But the question is, does Kendrick Lamar run rap?
Yo, Job, I don't like that question mark at the end, bro. You should let that shit off.
It has to be asked.
Nah, man. Ain't no question.
Go ahead, Sid. Get your shit off.
Talk about it, man. Get your shit off, man. Like, yo, he running shit right now, man. He's the current GOAT of this era, man. I've said it time and time again. More people are finally falling in line. Like, they catching up to what I've been saying for a long ass time.
That's
you know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar, not like us, is double platinum. He about to do a show, a one night show in Inglewood at the Kia Forum?
Yeah,
the Kia Forum,
Great West Forum, basically with
for Juneteenth. He popped out for the Compton Community College graduation ceremonies, give a surprise speech. And I like what he's doing because it's all part of the game. You know what I mean? We saw Drake pop out on Instagram, of course, because that's the only place he can, throw shots at this point, I guess. He popped out on Instagram with a Compton Community College sweatshirt. I can't even remember the timeline. Was it like in the midst of the beef? Was it while Kendrick was kind of quiet? I can't remember exactly when, but at some point,
I don't think you care, honestly.
He came out with that
it was
sweatshirt
during the quiet time though.
Yeah, and he was he was trying to coax Kendrick to come out, and then he popped out. You know what I mean? He showed out. And
why don't you say it? He popped out and showed niggas.
It's a bar.
I'm trying to hold back from certain verbiage because I know how people feel out there.
Stop it.
You know what I mean? But he popped out and showed motherfuckers. You know what I mean? He showed who the real boogeyman is, who the real king of this rap shit is right now. And I love all the moves he's making. You know what I mean? He's gonna the show is Kendrick and Friends. You know what I mean? So that's definitely gonna be wild lit, and we're definitely going to be on deck trying to see who's popping out on stage with them. You know what I mean? What they're going to say, what songs are they going to perform? Like That has to touch the stage. Not Like Us has to touch the stage. It's going to be crazy, man. And Drake, the more time passes, and the more IG captions that he puts out there, I don't know, man. Like, look, I said it. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna hear me say it on 99 tomorrow, but I'll say it right now. Take some time off, Aubrey. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's gonna hold it against you. I think taking some time off will be more understandable than the shit you're doing right now. But yeah, man. Shouts to Kendrick. Show motherfuckers how you're supposed to do this shit. He runs rap, no question mark.
No question.
Exclamation point.
Yikes. D need a balance. I mean, speak your truth, good brother. You know what I'm saying? We know how you feel about Kenny. Speak your truth.
Run rap's tough.
The 5-year argument is dead, by the way. Don't even run that tonight.
Run rap is tough. But who is the man of the hour, the week, the month, and right now the year? It's definitely him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I like what he's doing. I like the fact there's not actual music coming behind this. I like the fact that he doesn't feel opportunistic about it. He did the thing with as Sin spoke on, he did the thing with the college. Shout out to him, popped out. You know what I'm saying? Had a fresh lineup. Salute to him. He did. Fresh lineup. Salute to that man. After that, I mean, before that, the show, and this goes something about what we were talking about in the next episode, episode 99 also. So I went and just looked at the tickets on these joints. Like, every ticket is essentially sold out, whether for resale or just gone. Cheapest ticket was $300.
Prices was kind of hectic too, gang.
And I think that the highest price is like $1,200 and change or some shit like that. So like, you don't when people want to see, you don't have to manufacture shit. You just say, hey, come see me, and people pop out. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that, he's doing his thing. Like, maybe we'll get some music after this, but I like the fact right now, this is not. I had to smoke this nigga, and I'm gonna just breathe. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna take my victory lap. This is my moment in the sun. I don't have to do too much. I don't have to, like, when Eminem, remember when Benzino dropped that drink with Eminem, that he tried to like capitalize on every day after that. I like the fact he just did his thing and just said, I'm good. I could chill. Now he's doing what he's doing. And now he's outside again. I like this. I too am interested who's gonna pop out. Will Black Hippie pop out? Will we finally get what we always wanted? Some Black Hippie moments on stage. Will we see? I'm sure YG gonna pop out. We know the heads are gonna be there. This is LA. But I'm here for it. Shout out to that man doing what he's doing, and I'm sure there will be some music to come later. But shout out to him,
man.
I think the LA cloth, the LA wing of the cloth will be in full attendance. You know what I mean?
Every nigga who's known. No question.
Except
Juneteenth too. On Juneteenth
too. Except the game.
Nah, game he gonna knock at the door.
He's not showing up, bro.
Will they let him in? Maybe, but he will knock at the door.
I don't know. I think Game should pop out. You know what I mean? I mean, he chose Aubrey's side for better or worse, but he should pop out anyway. West in the building. Why not? You know what I mean?
Sure, but the type of nigga that could do that. I could see him going for Drake and still popping out of the Kendrick event. That's game. He's an enigma, bro. Like, you can't figure that man out.
And Enigma's one one way to explain it.
Hey, he should just wear, because he usually cosplays whoever the man of the moment is.
Exactly.
So maybe he should put on his best Kendrick outfit and just go to
Opportunist
the
is
show.
a better
You know what I
word
mean?
for it.
Now that's actually Simba. You know what I mean?
Trading the Chucks for some Cortez.
Right, but Dini made a good point. I like what he said about Kendrick being the man of the moment. I think I'm in lockstep with that. Because what happens, and hear me out. This is not knock against Kendrick in any way.
Let me hear
what happens if the album, when it does drop, and it's some bullshit? Does that dilute his earlier moment when he bodied up Drake?
No.
Isn't the album basically him sticking the landing? I'm just asking the question.
I mean, the smoke is already the smoke is already clear on that note. The album will be the victory lap on top of the victory lap. You know what I'm saying? Well, it'll be like winning every record except for the finals, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You got the MVP, you got the gold medal. It'll be that Kobe year in 08, essentially.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
But in 08, Kobe didn't win the chip.
There you go. He won the ring. He won the finals, not the actual MVP of the league, right? Was that the MVP year?
Yeah.
And then he won the gold medal, but he didn't win the finals MVP.
He didn't win the finals at all.
At all, yeah.
That's why I'm like, that's a rough comparison, nigga. Wouldn't the album be the finals?
But if it's bad, it's bad. But I don't think it's gonna be bad. I think we've been talking about, and maybe this can happen with Sincere. Since Sincere is our self-aware compatriot here, maybe one of his favorite artists is self-aware too. Maybe Kendrick is like, I know I can't misdemeanor this, basically. I know they're expecting a certain caliber of music from me. I see how the world went crazy when I was a part of Boppy Records. I mean, let's keep it a bop. Like that is a bop. Not Like Us is a bop. And the people are going crazy for him. I'm not going to say we're going to get a record of bops, but maybe we'll get more like something in the tune of Damn, where it's that nice balance of like,
if it's Damn, then this is an all-time year. I'm
right,
telling you that right now. If he drops a Damn this year, this is one of the greatest years for a rapper individually ever, bro.
It'll be dangerous.
If I could step in on this little ping pong back and forth, I'm probably the wrong person.
Harold Bailey, shut the fuck up. There's no Drake fans on the panel. Shut up.
Really?
I'm probably the wrong person to address this because I am, of the type of person that would say Kendrick has not missed with an album yet. You know what I mean?
No, he hasn't. There hasn't been any misses.
So to me,
Mr. Middle, I say probably closer.
Like framing it in a way where it's like, what if the album is whack? I haven't heard a whack. Me personally, to my ears, I haven't heard a whack album from Kendrick yet. You know what I mean? There are some that are better than others, of course. But an album that I would listen to and be like, damn, Kendrick, you fucked up with that one. I haven't heard that shit yet. So, on that level, I don't see that happening. Now, in terms of like what direction he's gonna go in, and this is coming from me, who my favorite albums of his have been the To Pimp a Butterflies and the Mr. Morales. I think he should go in the direction of what the people are clamoring for. I think it would be good for him and good for his standing in the game, or at least it would stick the landing. It would plant that flag on top of, that mountain he just climbed, and it would say like I am him, I am that guy. Like, and for anybody that's out there that's still doubting it, you can't doubt it no more. You know what I mean? If he does drop another Damn or another Damn like album, where it's, he's still gonna be him. He's still gonna give you like, the wisdom, the messaging, and all that. But like if he surrounds it with, bops and Not Like Us's and shit like that, a few Euphoria type records, I think that would be picture perfect for him right now.
All right. The chat is telling me that I was bugging earlier for barking at homie. What's his name? Harold Bailey. The chat said he was talking to the chat. So I'm gonna take that back, Mr. Bailey, because we get accused of shit on the show and be like, yo, bro, we just talking. But since they're spitting, I I want to hate, but like if it's not him, then who? Right now, it can't be the nigga who lost the biggest battle in history.
It can't be the nigga who apologized.
Talk
shit. Definitely ain't him. You know what I
mean, and that's the big three.
Griselda chilling.
Griselda is absolutely chilling.
They comfortable. They relaxing.
So it gotta be Kendrick as of right now. 6:48 p.m. or whatever time slot you in right now. The answer Kenny, bro. Like it is what it is. And he's running LA. You see him at the Compton College graduation, popping out and showing niggas. How did that make you feel, Sin? Because I know, like, as a fan, you've gotten tired of the rhetoric where people is like he's not living his raps. He's just trying to connect with a certain audience. But he pops out at the college after Drake wore the shirt and shit. I know that was a nice little victory. I like the fact that they're still squabbling even though there's no bars being exchanged.
Yeah. And I appreciate the move by Kendrick, you know what I mean, to represent for his hometown, his hood, you know what I mean, the people that are trying to you know, achieve higher education in his hood. You know what I mean? And again, this is a direct illustration of what I feel the difference is between a Drake and a Kendrick. Drake wore that shirt he wore, trying to, like, you know what I mean, diss community colleges, or like, you know what I mean, to like turn his nose up at community colleges. A lot of people out there, you know what I mean, they look at community colleges a certain way, and out comes Kendrick is like, yo, bro, like, you know what I mean, he showed up on stage. He obviously, you know what I mean, that wasn't the time to address what Drake did with the shirt, but obviously it was a direct response by saying, you know what I mean, the education you're getting here is the same as the education you're getting anywhere. A degree is a degree. Don't let people talk shit about you. Don't let people talk down on you. Like, you know what I mean, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to better your life and get a higher education in whatever way you can. And you know what I mean, that's the direct that's the direct comparison between Drake and Kendrick, where, you know what I mean, the way that they see things, their life vision is so diametrically opposed. And I'm always gonna, you know what I mean, lean towards the way that Kendrick sees the world. So,
Sin, did you say that Drake dissed community colleges?
Yeah, I was like, no, he didn't, bro.
No, I'm not saying he did. I'm saying,
what the fuck is 2 3s? Just like your knees don't hurt, gang. Like them shit ain't sore.
I'm like, I don't think he dissed community colleges. He dissed specifically like not like more Kendrick in the Compton sense. It's in the sense of if fucking Kendrick wore a Canadian college.
Listen,
like, you know what I'm saying?
From somebody that went to a certain university. I don't even want to like name drop it, but from somebody that comes from that era where you know what I mean, like we applied to certain universities, we looked at certain universities as being like, you know, of the highest tier, and then we looked at community colleges, or certain people looked at community colleges like, yo, you don't want to even go there. That's like high school part 2. You know what I mean? Like, I know what Drake was doing when he put that Compton Community College shirt on. You know what I mean? It's Compton along with the community college aspect of it, saying that, like, you know what I mean? Like that's what Kendrick is. He's
I'm not gonna hold you, son. I just thought he was bait. I took it as him just baiting Kendrick. That's all it was.
No. He was baiting Kendrick, but the messaging behind it. The messaging behind, like, why is he baiting Kendrick with a Compton community? It could have been Compton anything. Why is he choosing the Compton Community College angle of it? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, me knowing, you know what I mean, like Drake's worldview, or me having a sense of Drake's worldview through his music and through his actions, and me having a sense of Kendrick's worldview through his music and his actions. Like, I see what Drake was saying and doing with that shirt. It was more than just baiting Kendrick. It was, you know what I mean? Like, it was dissing, you know what I mean? A certain, you know, a certain audience of people. You know what I mean? And so for Kendrick to come out and be on that graduation stage for the Compton Community College graduation, I think that was the perfect way to clap back at what Drake was trying to say with that show.
I mean, if that nigga had on a Compton fish and shrimp shirt, I would have still thought he was
Word, like does Drake hate fish if he wears that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, son.
I didn't think that, son. They gonna hold you, bro.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell you as somebody that was in a certain circle, you know what I mean, and had a lot of discussions about colleges and universities and shit like that. There was a certain messaging there. I'm telling you.
But all right, so let's break that down just for the sake of clarity, because I won't admit I'm a little confused. I know there's the Compton connection there, Drake baiting and all of that. That's what I believe, right? I know Drake also believes that he's a faux activist and shit like that, right? So when you tie those beliefs that Drake has about Kendrick being a faux intellect, a faux activist, you saying that kind of energy only comes from community colleges? Is that what Drake is trying to frame it as?
No, I'm just saying. Look,
I'm trying to understand what you're saying because I really don't.
All right. So the latest thing Drake did was he alluded to Kendrick being a one-trick pony, right? He popped out.
Nah, let's stay on topic. So that's a whole other segment.
No. I understand. Follow me, man. Follow me. Like I'm trying to explain because you're not understanding. And Miss Tiff gets it. Shouts to Miss Tiff. Drake is absolutely a classic. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? And so when Drake does or says certain things, you know what I mean, or when he wears certain things, that there's levels to it, you know what I mean. And so when we talk about the bars, when we talk about like the shit that was said during the rap beef, the battle records back and forth, like we dug beneath the layers to catch the double and triple entendres,
right?
And what I'm saying is that moment with Drake wearing that Compton Community College sweatshirt, there was additional messaging beneath just trying to bait Kendrick. There was more. There was addition. There was
like he's better than these people.
Like he's creating a line from Kendrick towards a community college. Is what I'm saying, because community colleges are seen as being less than.
Got it.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so he believes he's universally better than Kendrick. Period. Yeah. That's basic. And if you're talking about classism with Tiffany, I didn't even think about that aspect of it either. Like this shit. All right, sir.
Because both these niggas is rich, so I didn't think that was. You know
nah, but you know what it is. But then that kind of makes sense with my argument as far as why I was like, why did he keep taking Kendrick so lightly this whole time? It's like, why you keep playing with this kid? Like, yeah, you know what it is. So why you playing with him? And that aspect of it as well, too. Like you keep poo-poo. If you poo-pooing this person as a man, you think he's a woman beater, you think he's an outright liar, he projects a certain image, but but you know what I mean? Then you throw the Compton Community College, and again, because in my lifespan, I've come across a lot of people who wear their quote education forward, or at least how smart they're not their education, but how smart they are. But when you start peeling back the layers, there's no documentation to support that, or they went to a community college for a couple of years, but they didn't finish. So these things come into play, and it shows you that it was warfare on a different type of level. I didn't think about that until Sim put it together just now, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Drake fumbled. It is what it is. I don't care what Free say in the chat. Like, like as men who love rap, when your favorite loses, your favorite loses. I had to live through it. We talked about it on episodes past. When Jay lost, I had to live through that. Like I couldn't imagine me being like Free in anybody's chat behaving this way after Super Ugly dropped and the voting happened on Hot 97. I went to school the next day. I was salty, but like I'm not gonna dick ride no rapper because he lost the battle and pretend that shit ain't what it is when the whole world sees it. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta have dignity. At a certain point, you gotta have a little dignity. You know what I mean? The dignity is lacking. And if you want to hide and pretend that it's trolling, you really believe that shit, Free. And you look bad right now. You look funny in the light. But anyway, tomorrow we got episode 99, The Road to 100 in studio. Make sure y'all pull in 6:30 p.m. tap in with that. Y'all know the in studios is always on time. I rep Ghana. The in studios are always on time. You dig? But make sure you hit the like button. Roundtablemerch.com. Follow us on the socials. Do the necessary, please.
Yeah.
And while we're here, let's continue the conversation. You mentioned it before, saying One Trick Pony. I won't lie, because I've already written Drake off in this situation. I really don't care about what he has to say. And, much like you said last week, he's kind of a thought, and his actions on the socials is very thoughtish. So when I saw One Trick Pony, I was like, oh, he's just a Kendrick, whatever. I don't give a fuck. And then you threw the other thing in the group chat where it's breaking down another person in the music industry and their whole life situation, divorcing their wife, having some issues with the label, et cetera, et cetera. And he's basically, I guess, a subliminal IG post as a double or triple entendre. Like what? Like, and then you see the outfit. He got the hand dangling, looking awful sassy. What's going on, Sam?
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, like, I think Drake. I feel like Drake still feels like he could do no wrong. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like whatever moves he makes, people are going to follow him. His audience, his fans are going to rock with him. And that's only going to work until the day that it doesn't. And then the way I'm feeling right now is it's getting closer and closer to that day where people are going to see through the smoke and mirrors with Drake. And see him for, I don't want to say fraud, but just see him for like the person it really is. You know what I mean? Like fraud is a strong word, but like
I mean not cosplayer. Is cosplayer a better word? Okay,
the cosplayer, like people are going to see him for the cosplayer he really is. You know what I mean? And again, it goes back to look. Let's be clear. I have felt this way for a very, very long time. I've had a lot of arguments and debates with people who are Drake fans, and I would just be like, bro, you don't see it, you don't feel that like disconnect, and I think people are seeing it and feeling it more so now, and I think, you know what I mean, like there was a lot, you know, let's be honest about it, there was a lot of other people involved in this entire battle arena, you know, but Kendrick was the main person to really, you know what I mean, draw attention to it and like really break it down in his bars and his verses and in his lyrics. You know what I mean? Like we know what Rick Ross did, you know what I mean? But like, did Rick Ross really break it down, or did he just like call him a white boy on record? I mean, it's one thing to like say something, but it's another thing to like really, you know, break it down to the layers. And, you know, and I said it a while ago, Kendrick is, if there's one thing that, I mean, he's good at more than one thing, but like, if there's one thing he absolutely excels at is peeling back the layers and working through all the layers of whatever it is that he is rapping about, you know what I mean? And so I say all that to say, like, I think people are finally seeing through it. I think, you know, these IG captions, I think these photo ops, I think this trolling that he does on IG, maybe at one point, you know what I mean, people might have been down with it. I don't think it's going to work for him the way it's worked for him before. I just don't, you know what I mean? And I feel he should try to find another angle, a different angle to approach things from, because this is not making them look good.
So, like, we're human beings. You get what I'm saying? And human beings have a set shit in mind. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you take a shower. You know, it's set shit that you just do as a human. Like, you got to understand, this nigga's been doing the same shit he's been doing for 15 years, roughly. And he's been, I just keep it a buck, he's been the top nigga doing it for all this time. This is with the weird hair clips. This is with the fingernail painting. This is with the outfits, the pants that could fit the Jackson 5 in them. Like, this is all the shit this nigga's been doing. Just a bunch of weirdo shit. And he hasn't been able, this whole shit is a culmination of 15 years of a nigga being too hot, a lot of people feeling away about it, but there's been times where you was like, damn, another song from this dude, another number one, another album, like every year, consistent output. You can't deny it. I think you wanted, a lot of people wanted to see him lose, and Kendrick was the perfect person to do it because he's kind of like diametrically the opposite, you know what I'm saying, of what Drake stands for. So that combination, and people were ready for what Kendrick brings right now. Like if this was maybe 10 years ago and that battle was to go on right now, I don't know if Kendrick walks out as victorious, but I think people are just tired of Drake. That was really what it is. The people who have been here for the longest, the Masecitos, are like, nah, that's my guy. Fuck with him. He's been making the music that people want to hear. He's been getting the spots lit. You know what I'm saying? Like I always talk about the Kendrick Lamar shit. That's 5 years. I always make jokes and shit, but 5 years is a long time with no music for people to listen to. Nothing for people to relate to you to. Yes, they can go back and listen to your old tunes, but you know what I'm saying? Like current mode, say what you want about Drake, but you always know what's going on current with him. He's always a part of current shit. You know what I'm saying? And that is a part of culture. The consistency, the activity it might not be the greatest bars. He might not even write them shits, but we all heard them references. I have yet to hear a Drake reference that sound as good as when Drake do it. So if all them niggas could do that shit for themselves, they would. Say what you want. He's earned that. You get what I'm saying? Yes, he took the L. Yes, he needs to go on vacation, but I just feel like we can't downplay like 15 years of like just getting buckets, my nigga. You get what I'm saying? We can't downplay that because we wouldn't downplay that from anybody else that was like had that kind of run. I mean, even if they was the nicest nigga or the right nigga, to be that nigga for that long, there's something to that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And don't act like
who's trying to downplay it though.
A lot of people, especially the Kenny fans, you get what I'm saying? Like it's just, I just want to make that case state that we give Kendrick all the props, but this guy was the one that was cooking for a long time. You get what I'm saying? So when we don't understand why people are still rocking with him, or why this has been what people's been fucking with for my nigga 15 joints, bro. That's a long time to be the guy.
I don't think people are trying to necessarily downplay or say like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, what he did, the way he held, he had a hit like every summer, every year, you know what I mean? Multiple hits, running the rap game. I don't think there's necessarily like people trying to downplay the actual facts of what happened. I think what people are trying to do is, again, dig beneath the surface. Like, why was he able to do that? How was he able to do that? You know what I mean?
People like the music.
People like people like the music because
the whole shit was the music. We wasn't looking at him like he was a cool nigga. Everything was music.
Well, look, people like the music because I'm gonna say it. People like the music because people are sheep.
Don't do that, Sam.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Because I'm sure there's enough Drake music that you like that you can't say that though. You get what I'm saying?
There's some shit here and there. It's not to the level of where people will say like he has like some people will say he has 3 or 4 or 5 classic albums. Like y'all wildin', y'all wildin'. You know what I mean?
Maybe 2. Maybe.
And I also feel like there's a segment of people that will attribute classic status to an album because it had enough hits on it. You get what I'm saying? Like I've talked to people that have said that Puffy No Way Out was a classic. You know what I mean? A classic album because it had the hits that it had on it. The Benjamins, Been Around the World, like all that shit.
Classic moments.
All that shit, right? The classic moment. And we had this debate. We had this discussion on one of our episodes. You know what I mean? There's classic moments and then there's classic albums. You know what I mean? And some people will attribute classic status to an album for it having classic moments. Has Drake had innumerable classic moments? Absolutely. Classic records, you know what I mean? Held Down Summers. They wasn't all rap. You know what I mean? Some of them were sing-songy. Some of them were, the West Indian Caribbean vibes. Hotline Bling. I'm not even sure what to really
different vibes
call that Hotline Bling song. Like, what genre is that? Like, I don't even know how to take it down. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, sure, Drake held down because he anchored himself within he used hip hop as his anchor to then delve into these other genres, right? So we all see what he did, and I don't think, again, we're not trying to downplay it. We're just trying to say, all right, was it all like in the spirit of hip hop? Was it all in the spirit of, MCing and writing his own shit? You know what I mean? Being a lyricist. You know what I mean? Taking credit for his own rhymes. That's what we're trying to say. We're trying to say that like there's asterisks there. That's all we're saying.
But the whole thing is he's been the walking asterisk, bro. Like that's the thing. Like the only way to compare is like he's been a thought. You get what I'm saying? And he's been thoughting forever. And y'all niggas is mad. He's a thought, bro. Like he's been a thought. He's been from the beginning. Thought. You get what I'm saying? He's the alleged ghostwriting shit that we know of has started since what, 2015 even? Yeah. It's 10 years now, bro. That have the music sales stopped? People still like the tunes. No one's going to this kid like, yo, write me a magnum opus of bars. We're not getting black thoughted from this kid, bro. You know what I'm saying? People want music. Drake is the nigga you listen to get away from this shit. You say everybody's going through the shit they're going through in life. People want to bop. That's not a crime. You get what I'm saying?
Well, look,
Kendrick makes bops too.
True.
And y'all niggas are downplaying him because you can't like it's so weird because it's like a nigga telling you I'm not downplaying him and concedes to continuously downplay the nigga every time you say you are though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not downplaying him. I'm saying he did what he did. I look at the facts, I look at all the accolades, I look at the numbers, I'm like, he did that. You know what I mean? But what were the factors playing into how he accomplished that? That's all I'm saying.
The same ghost
as a hip hop fan, as a hip hop purist, as a snob. You know what I mean? Like I looked at a Hotline Bling and I'm like, all right, of course he fucking like left Earth numbers wise with that shit. You know what I mean? It's a pop smash. It's not a rap record. It's not a hip hop record. So like. That's the thing where I think a lot of people will get shit twisted is like, if I say something, it's always going to be from the perspective of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Hip hop pure, like as a hip hop purist.
But there's nothing pure hip hop about Drake. That's why I'm like, the fact we keep going back to this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like we can't keep calling McDonald's home cooking. We know it's not home cooking, my nigga.
We see that. We see that. There's a whole segment, there's a whole generation of people that don't see that. They don't know the difference. Is what I'm saying.
Once you don't write your own shit, you'll never be in the true lexicon, bro. The real niggas. So like he was never gonna be like up there with those kinds of niggas. You get what I'm saying? He was just gonna be like the entertainer who did it through rap. Like right. I don't know any real like outside of like I'm just fucking with Drake because I'm a younger nigga. I don't know is anybody that you know I age caliber I got Drake in like top 10. They don't. He just not. He's like excommunicado in that way. It just
but somehow he creeps his way back into these conversations.
Because he's the only one who's willing to get in the ring. It's been. You gotta think about it. At the peak of New York rap, right before the South took over, everybody was scrapping with everybody, and then it kind of just died out as people wanted to have more fun in music, and the kind of records that those artists were making didn't lend itself to competitive rapping. Drake gets in the ring. All these other guys who came up since then, who's been the opposite or the A side? If you want to do like a boxing reference, the A side is a B side. Drake been the A side of all of his fights, and he's been a willing A side. He's not Floyd Mayweather out here. He's gotten the ring with everybody we wanted Drake to battle, he's battled. So that's how he lingers his way back into the conversation. Also because, and it's a tricky thing, it's because the cloth, as we've decreed it, the cloth, it's a weird dichotomy with Drake. The cloth knows that Drake can rap. You know what I'm saying? Like they know, but they don't respect him because for the reasons we've listed off countless times, corny, whatever. We don't got to repeat it. But then he had a chance to get his respect, but then the Quentin Miller thing happened, and that just like it puts him in a weird spot because prior to QM happening, the cloth always knew he was nice, but they also thought he was corny. It did not represent the culture. One thing that's been consistent with Drake from day one is that the cloth never felt like Drake was culture. But then now we think you're not culture and your pen is in question. To quote Funkmaster Flex, you out of here. But then on the flip side of that, he sneaks into the conversation because the guy who the cloth doesn't respect, the guy who's corny, is the only one willing to give you the action fights that you want. Is Pusha T battling anybody else? No. Is Kendrick picking on Big Sean? He ain't getting in the ring with Cole. Cole literally ran. Cole ran. He ran.
Run for it.
All of the guys who are supposed to be the next iteration of the cloth on the mainstream side of things, Drake is the only one who's willing to fight. The Griselda dudes is not gonna battle nobody. Griselda niggas is getting money. They on the underground side, but the Griselda is the manifestation of the cloth in real time, right? We can say that. All those guys in that ilk. Then you have the people who preceded them that kind of gave them their inspiration. The Hus Kingpins of the world. We talked about him on Friday. You know what I'm saying? None of these guys are battling. None of them. Who's the only one? Drake. So he's gonna sneak. He gonna backdoor pause his way into all those conversations because he knows he's not respected, and the only way he could get into those conversations on a serious note is if he is the A side to the big fights. Common, Pusha, Kendrick, Meek. He been in them. He did the thing with Kanye. Even if Ye's another one who's like the precursor to Drake, you know what I mean? That's the only way he gets it. It's almost like he has like I think he almost resents, you know what I'm saying? Like the cloth. And he does shit to fuck with the cloth.
Hold on, John.
Hold on. Let me cook, bro. I just got back. Don't stop me now.
Cook.
He's in a situation now as like, if y'all telling me that I'm not this, I'm gonna do everything that you say that I'm not, every chance I get, and I'm gonna force y'all to talk about me each and every time. It's a comical thing in a weird kind of a way. Like, and because he's so emo, it's like, ugh. And then he loses, gets sassy, and then goes to Instagram and throws subs with weird outfits. Maybe he's on a video shoot, but with weird outfits on. It's a real strange thing that I'm seeing. Go ahead, Didi. But it's very interesting what he's doing. There's a lot of resentment on both sides when it comes to the cloth and Drake, and we see it play out in various ways.
Now you can relate to this too. Shout out to, is it Aid IHD? I don't know if I'm saying your shit correct, homie. He says, Dini, if you say he's a pop star and hip hop doesn't respect, why did you genuinely believe he would beat Kendrick in a rap battle? And we've discussed this. I don't know if you're new here, my good brother, but we discussed this. We didn't think
that was just a question.
That's the question.
Okay.
But did I think that Drake would stand toe to toe, bar for bar with Kendrick Lamar and be a victor? No. This had to be a strategic route. The way he played this, it's kind of like the underdog playing the overdog in that field. He has to do certain things, maybe antics, maybe like the fucking Compton College show. He has to do weirdo little shit like that to kind of like sway the people. As far as just rapping, it wouldn't work. But I have a better question for you, my guy. If Drake is the pop star and hip hop doesn't respect, why is this Kendrick Lamar about being taken so valuable then? That's a part of the game. You can't say I'm a bum, beat me, and then now be the great guy because you beat the bum. No, you had to beat somebody great to be the great. Right or wrong, though.
Listen, look, you're not. The analogy isn't there. That's not what the analogy is, Dini. Like, we're not saying Drake is a bum. We're saying he's talented, but he's on PEDs. You know what I mean? Think of a basketball, any sports player on PEDs. Let's say you know what I mean. Like he gets into the playoffs and everybody else is hurt. You know what I mean? It's a shortened season. Let's say like he has all of the answers. He has everything is lined up for him to win. You know what I mean? Like he has everything in place. He has all of the chess pieces in place. Like this is how I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? And again, shouts to him. He's smart enough and calculated enough to make those moves and put the chess pieces where they have to be for him to make sure he's running the board. You know what I mean? But then when somebody comes through and it's like, yo, y'all don't see this? Y'all don't see how he got this whole shit rigged? He's like, no, let him cook. He's winning. He's winning. You just a hater because you see him winning. And then he comes through and he's like, nah, I'm going to show you exactly what like an actual GOAT will do. It's not going to matter about how much this shit is rigged. It's not going to matter about how much PEDs he's taking. He's not as good as me. I am the actual cloth.
And then,
you know what I mean?
Then we got to put it in this proper perspective as well, because it's like 2 3s. You know, he's here and he's fighting for his life. But it's like he says that Drake thinks that the cloth or the heads are corny. But it's like the problem is part of being an elite rapper is getting the pass from the cloth. You gotta pass there. I think that Drake's popularity he's more, I don't want to do this. I really don't, but I guess I gotta tell the truth. At least from my point of view. To me, shout out to Tony the Dome. I want to know if we could do a diagram, how much of his fans probably listen to like an Eminem or something, like the pop shit, like how many heads are really Drake fans? How many Mases? How many 2 3s listen to Drake? Do they represent the majority, or is he a pop act with fans who really don't get this shit? You know what I'm saying? Because Drake thinks the heads are corny. Drake wanted to be a head. Drake only began to think the heads were corny because the heads rejected him and peed on him in the movie theater. It's easy to call a nigga corny after he beat you up and pee on you. Jeez. You know what I'm saying? The tough talk don't hit the same after the tough talk don't hit the same when you stand into 21, because we know your origin story is you got beat up, herbed, and peed on, bro. You was getting a shaking with Chris Brown over Rihanna. Like again. So when you do all this, the mob ties and don't come to Canada and all this and that, your origin story was something else, bro. And then when you look at who he was as a kid, a lot of us, when it comes to hip hop, we've been this. This is who we are. He was a white kid in Canada, bro. My man never had a shape up. We talked about this in the past. He didn't have no shape up. He wasn't rocking a Caesar. He didn't have 360s. He didn't have braids. My man was unshaped up, white kid, raised by his mom. And he probably loves shit like hip hop because, you know what I mean? He's still part of him is black and he gravitated towards it. But his infrastructure and his whole get up, his whole setup wasn't black. He was a white kid. And there's video evidence of him being white as fuck. So it's like to say that he's not a cosplayer, there's too much evidence to the contrary. You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
Glasses, he had the glasses too. I don't know if he was wearing that for the TV though, gang. I don't know, but what I'm saying is, like to me, and it might seem frivolous, but we grew up. Drake is younger than us. Growing up without a shape up, bro. Different. That's not black.
Uncivilized.
That is unblack as unblack gets. You understand me? He had the fade with no shape up, so he would. What was them shits called that the white people was going through back at that barbershop? What was it called? Something cuts. Ah man, I can't remember what it's called. Huh? Supercuts. He has a supercuts fade.
The lemon tree, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on.
It is what it is.
So it's like he got to do all this extra shit to get the respect that he's never gonna get. If Quentin Miller doesn't happen, I think he eventually would have gotten that respect because he worked hard for it. But what we thought you corny and niggas is helping you, and you just became a pop act where you have a writer's room and you make quality music within your writer's room. We can't respect you, bro. I hate, you know what it is? We hate to be on the same side as Flex. We love Flex as a New Yorker, but sometimes Flex be wrong as fuck. And I hate to be on Flex's side, but once your pen is in question, and that whole story came out about how he knew the whole freestyle, but then he pretended to read it off his phone for the camera. That's weird shit.
Yeah. Uncloth-like.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but we could talk about this all day. But there's another topic that we got to get to, y'all. We got to
hold on. We didn't even really get into like why it is that we think Drake still wants smoke with Kendrick.
Oh, we didn't? Oh, I thought y'all cooked that while I was off the air.
Nah. We got into a whole debate about shit. So apparently he's you know what I mean? We mentioned it a little bit before. Like he took a whole photo op at his son's soccer game, and apparently he was wearing. We saw it and we were already like, all right, that outfit. I don't know what's going on with the outfit, like the super wide pants, the sweater around the neck, and all that. But it's like it's Drake. He's gonna wear funny outfits, if nothing else, than to get the people talking about him. You know what I mean? But then somebody pointed it out on Twitter, and then I'm like, oh shit, his outfit is very reminiscent of what Kendrick was wearing on the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album cover. You know what I mean? It like the off-white t-shirt, the wide leg khaki color pants. And again, you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, Kendrick, Drake doesn't do shit just to do shit on IG. Like, if he's gonna go on IG, even the shit he's wearing is gonna have like a message behind it. You know what I mean? So it looks like he's still, you know what I mean? He's still trying to troll Kendrick. He's still trying to, you know, call him out. Maybe he wants a rematch. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to spin the block. Maybe he thinks it's not over. I don't know. I think we've all collectively decided the beef is the battle's done.
Right.
Maybe the whole beef isn't done. The battle's done though.
Right.
And you know what I mean? The results are what they are. So if he wants a rematch, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But it looks like that, you know, he took this photo op to send a little extra message. And then he said, you know what I mean, goats don't worry about what one-trick ponies do or some shit like that. Alluding to Kendrick being a one-trick pony. Then come to find out somebody, you know, dug a little bit deeper and saw that One Trick Pony is a movie with Paul Simon in it. And the character that he plays is like a struggling musician trying to make it back. And I don't understand why Drake continues to try to paint Kendrick as like a struggling artist. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we all see what Kendrick is doing out here. We all see the numbers. We all
that's what we were talking about earlier.
I don't understand.
I don't think it really is a matter of respect. There's a lack of respect there. I don't see it any other way. Like, he really doesn't respect this guy. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe we'll get the rap 30 for 30 one day. But there's a level of disrespect there that he, like I said, he showed more respect and reverence to Pusha than he did to Kendrick. And that's been bugging me out for like the last 2-3 months. Why does he keeps waving this guy off like he's nobody?
You know how like when somebody kind of like brings you in the game, they can't see you as a real contender because they kind of brought you in the game. Remember, he had him on the tour and all that, put Kendrick on his first tour. So maybe you still see him as the low homie, even though he's obviously, you know what I'm saying, transferred his shit into a whole different level. But I'm talking about maybe he still sees him as the little homie though.
Vanguardian, he might have nailed it, you know. Maybe the hatred is mutual. I didn't even think of that too. I never look at Drake as the kind of guy that hates people. So I never thought about that.
You know what's crazy?
He hates Push.
Because like I said earlier, like Kendrick is kind of like the complete opposite, you know. So if maybe if Drake ain't get his blackness reaffirmed and certified and stamped and shit, and you know Kendrick is like blacker than black, you get what I'm saying? As far as like to the people, one guy is seen as black culture.
Kendrick makes the one song that he can't really respond to. They're not like us. Is like
can't say nigga
that's
no more.
Checkmate. You know what I'm saying? But John Johnson, I think this is a new name. I just want to say he said something about like we didn't mention the machine behind Drake. Mr. Johnson, sir, that's old news at the Rap Roundtable. We've covered that ad nauseum here. Drake is the machine. You got a $400 million deal with Apple Music. Like we don't need to regurgitate that in 2024. We know that already. So if you ever heard us say this, because it is basically the common denominator of this entire conversation. Yeah. Kendrick versus the machine. Okay, so we're clear. I got a theory as to why Drake is still sending the shots. I think it's like, to use a basketball reference. Shout out Gaps. I think Drake realized in real time that he was getting like wasn't railroaded. Like the momentum was just off. I think he's tried to call like a quick timeout, let shit cool off, but not die, so that he could circle back once he believes that Kendrick will lose some of that momentum, and that he could swing back later when people are looking at something else. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. It's like, you know what, this is getting too crazy. I'm getting like, what's that Adrian Brody? I'm getting cooked right now. So let me take a step back, let shit cool off, and then I come back outside later. That's how I'm looking at it. Because what other reason is there? Let this shit cool off, lose some of that, because he expects Kendrick to go hide again. So he'll lose some of that momentum, then I can pop back out again and say what I really want to say. You think that's a tangible theory, Sid?
I could definitely see that. You know what I mean? Just sort of keep it bubbling. You know what I mean? Keep it simmering just a little bit. Put it on low heat for a little while.
Slow cook.
You know what I mean? But not turn it all the way off. And then he turn up the heat when he feels the time might be right. But I don't. What was it? Kendrick got 10 stocks, and he only used like 4 of them. He got another 6 on the. If that's your strategy, Aubrey, I don't know.
And I don't really understand.
I don't know if you really want to do that.
Oh, actually, I'll ask Dini because I feel like if I ask Sin, it's an alley-oop. He gonna dunk it. So I'm gonna ask Dini. What's the point of deleting the songs off the socials and doing that than to throw subs on the socials? Like, what's the point? Is he trying to hope niggas forget?
No, and I think that's the anomaly we've been fucking trying to reason with all this time. We're asking an anomaly, you know what I'm saying? A nigga that's a cosplayer to be himself. Like there is that's what makes Drake so dangerous, because like there kind of is no himself. There is no high, there is no low. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things we know Kenny can't do. Like because he will be beneath himself to do. Like I don't feel like that about Drake. I feel like there's no highs, he can do whatever he wants, and that's a dangerous nigga. Like it's at this point now he just basically just waving, hey, you see me. That's pretty much what it is now. I don't think this is a battle that he's trying to irk on. I mean, he already got smoked. It doesn't make sense to bring on more music right now. This is just more like, hey, I can't rap with you right now, so let me do a little thing, kind of like a jilted lover kind of thing. Let me do little things to let you know I see you out here.
So he called a 20-second timeout, is what you're saying?
More like a 60-second timeout. You know what
I'm
saying? But he's not going back in the game. That's the difference.
This is a commercial break. We got a commercial break and a sideline report. Drake is on the golf course with baggy jeans, singing about Delilah, and he looks very confused as to what he wants to be today. Drake, what accent do you have on the golf course today? You know what I mean?
Same way if Drake never talked about this again and just went on to make music. That's Drake. You get what I'm saying? It's just there's no telling what this nigga's. There's no limit because he's kind of a grease ball. You know what I'm saying? He's win-win.
Fair enough. All right.
Switches pants the way he switches accents. That's crazy.
Hey, listen. Switches. Listen. That's a bar. I don't care if you're a Drake fan or not. That's a bar. You know what I mean? Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into this conversation, man.
Costume, we know what it is, though.
Jay-Z and Rock Nation, or Rock Nation and Jay-Z. I don't know which one comes first in this situation. Report comes out on Friday that he makes a donation to Philadelphia public schools in the amount of $300 million, some sort of scholarship program in order to help underprivileged youth in the city get into said private schools. Within, I would say, 4 to 5 hours of that news story coming out, the opposite side of the spectrum spins the block and essentially says that this ain't it. Jay-Z is a Republican. And some people are saying he's getting used by the Republican Party as a figurehead for something even bigger, and that this is a bad play. I see the situation, and it's like I know that I don't have many legs to stand on when it comes to Jay-Z in these topics. So, so what I'll say is this is a tricky situation because you know what? The more I read into it, I can see both sides of the argument when it comes to why people are upset with Jay-Z. And I can also see why a Jay-Z would take the route that he did. And I think it's kind of simple. Hear me out, chat. And send, you and I usually end up arguing about this. So I'll let you know. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. When you do a simple Google search and you look up the conditions of like the Philadelphia elementary or public school budget right now, it's, as of December 2023, it's pretty bad. They're running out of pandemic funding that they had as in 2020. They also have situations where schools are not being ran well. There's asbestos. Yeah. The schools are generally decrepit.
It's bad everywhere, but specifically Philly.
Yeah. Let's refocus on Philly in particular. It's pretty run down in Philadelphia. The public school systems. Me personally, I've worked in schools before I moved on and switched careers. I worked in schools for 10 years. And I can tell you, in New York City, there's a lot of talk about budgets, right? And there's always questions as to where that money goes. There's things get, you know what I'm saying? Things get put into the budget, and you might see some pizza, or you might see some fresh paint, or a new board. But a lot of times, the schools inside of New York City, The public schools, they kind of stay the same. A lot of parents are moving on from public schools to the charter schools that reside within the public schools. It's the whole campus setup now. So
That's trash too, but
right. So it's like when it comes to public school funding, the money is very funny, and you could say, Jay, why not take that 300 M's and put it into Philadelphia public schools? But there's a high probability that the kids themselves might only see maybe 10% of those 300 M's. And then that money just vanishes into other shit, or it goes into administrators or bosses' pockets at the highest levels of the food chain. So it's like, whereas I understand people are like, oh, this is wrong by Jay-Z. He's probably looking at it like, if I get these niggas $300 million, they're not going to see it anyway. So let me put it somewhere where it's more likely to be seen, because the public school or the private school's infrastructure is a little bit more versed. They got a little bit more of everything. It is what it is. And these things that they have, everything that I speak of costs money. So I look at it as it's a more tangible buy-in to put it into these private schools and get some black kids into these private schools, as opposed to saying, oh, he's taking $300 million that could go into the public schools and put it into the private schools. Maybe so that could be true as well. But it's like, will the kids ever see that money? That is my question to the chat, to the angry people writing the think pieces, and that's what I'm saying to you, Sin. I know how you feel about Jay-Z, the hyper-capitalist, but I feel like this is a trickier situation than things we've debated about in the past.
Nah, you're right. It's definitely tricky. And there's so many layers to this that I hope I could sort of work through all of them as I give my takes. But there's definitely no easy answer here. You know what I mean? For anybody that's out there that's like, oh, but this is, instead of doing this, do that, problem solved. It's not that easy, like by any means. You're oversimplifying. Any angle you take on, it's going to be an oversimplification of how it's actually going to work out in real time, in real life. You know what I mean? Well, you do have a point. You know what I mean? You give this to the public school system, to the, the bureaucracies that it has to work through. And, by the time it's all said and done, the actual schools are going to see like such a minor percentage of that. You know what I mean? But I think what an idealist like myself, you know what I mean? And I've worked through a lot of my idealistic ways of thinking and points of views to understand that like shit is not going to work out as easy as it might seem in my mind.
No, I'm just saying. So I thought that there was more to do.
And so there's so much work to be done in the public school system that it's like, even if you throw like $300 million at it, it's only $300 million sounds like a lot of money, but it's going to be like a Band-Aid almost to like how run down and decrepit these school systems are. You know what I mean? Like it's going to require billions and maybe even trillions of dollars to actually, feel like things are turning around. You know what I mean? There's also the part of it where, Jay-Z is a hyper-capitalist. We talked a little bit about classism a little while ago with the Drake topic. Shouts to Miss Tiff in the comments who put the proper term to it. You know what I mean? Classism. There's a sense of classism here where we look at private schools and we're like, well, that's obviously the goal. You know what I mean? Like, why go to a shitty public school when you could go to a lofty private school with all these white kids and have, better chances, better opportunities, better, influences around you and shit like that. A person like myself at my core, I would say we should absolutely be investing more into the public schools and the public school systems to get them. I'm not going to say they're going to get to the level where private schools is at, but get them to compete at least a little bit. You know what I mean? And so when people say that, when people say like, he's just he's throwing money in the wrong direction, I can understand what they're saying. But also, I also understand that, like, putting it into the public school system, it's only gonna, make a dent into working through the problems that they have to work through. So it's not an easy answer. You know what I mean? Like, definitely, and people have also talked about like when you take these public school kids out of the public school system and put them in private schools, like numbers wise, percentage wise, A lot of them don't do well. A lot of them end up returning back to the public school system. They end up possibly failing out of the private school system because they just don't feel comfortable there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work out for them. But, and here's my thing. Here's why I think Jay is really doing this. If you can get like one or two, a handful of kids that go into that system and they thrive, that's who they're going to point at. That's who they're going to prop up and like put on stages and you know, tell the stories about, like, this is what that money went through. Look at these 3 kids here out of however many, you know, fucking hundreds or thousands of kids. Look at these 3 kids that made it. This is why we do this. And that's what capitalism does. You know what I mean? It shows you the success stories, while like a lot of people are struggling and failing. A lot more people are struggling and failing over here. But you know, it is what it is. That's the system that we work in. So yeah,
it's a nasty argument. Like I you know, matter of fact, I'll get back to what I think in a minute. Mesito, welcome to the panel. The chat missed you. They was asking for you throughout the episode.
My gosh.
Disappointed that you pulled up right after we wrapped up the Drake and Kenny talk, but we'll get your takes before we get out of here. In the meantime, as a person who scours the net, you read articles, you comment creep just like I comment creep. What do you think about this whole situation with Jay-Z? You know, the situation of donating and how it impacts Philadelphia's financial infrastructure as far as the tax money going from the public school into the private schools, supposedly.
Well, there's been a lot of pushback from it. You know what I mean? I've kind of deferred to you. I seen you mention you've worked within the school system, you know, the public school system. So you have a interesting perspective on it. I've seen a lot of smart people online, a lot of people who know more about the infrastructure and exactly where things go speak on it than me. So it's like, I don't want to speak like the expert on something I read about yesterday, you know what I mean, about as far as exactly where this money is going, what's going on. But I will say this, Jay-Z with the and forgive me guys if I'm repeating talking points that were already made. I just popped on. But I'll say that Jay-Z, he didn't buy himself a lot of fans with the situation that went and happened in Barclays. You know what I mean? With the stadium that we're gonna bring, you know, jobs to New Yorkers, and we're gonna have upward mobility, and basically, you know, Brooklyn being largely gentrified other than a few neighborhoods. Now, obviously, we know that was already going on 10 years before that, but it certainly didn't help. You know what I mean? And Jay-Z willingly putting himself as a face of that type of thing, because we know there were more richer guys and more powerful guys that were really pulling the strings as far as that's going on. But Jay-Z, he made himself the face of it. You know what I'm saying? He was the trusting black that the rest of us said, okay, I trust it now. Jay-Z is his face is on it. And so I think, you know, since then, there have been a lot of people kind of side-eyeing Jay, you know what I mean? The Super Bowl situation, he didn't have a lot of fans of that when it started. It ended up that he did actually fulfill, you know, the purpose he said. He said he wanted to get black representation on the entertainment side, and that's all we've seen since he got involved with it. So I will say, you know, it's a tough thing, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, you know, he doesn't give off a for the man vibe. He doesn't give off a vibe of, you know, I'm gonna help everybody. So there's always gonna be people that look at him and look at anything he's donating to with a side eye. You know what I mean? When we really get into, you know, beyond the surface of it, capitalism, like Sin was getting into, you know, eat the rich, you know, we don't trust any billionaires, you know what I mean, black or white. So of course we're gonna look at it crazy, you know what I mean? I don't know, you know, there are a lot of smart people that are saying, hey, doing this voucher program for private schools, you know, indirectly or directly takes money out of public school funding. You know what I mean? I don't know if the $300 million that Jay-Z is donating is going to help that more than, you know, the school system's fucking us over for the last 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's a situation where you can really blame Jay for anything, but he definitely is, you know, getting into the system that we all feel, you know, makes us all get worse. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as far as it specifically, I'm not knowledgeable enough. You know what I'm saying? Because I will say this on the other end. I know people personally that have benefited from this S. Carter Foundation, a thing where he gets people scholarships, gets them into colleges. I know people personally who have benefited from that. You know what I mean? So just like you say, Sin, there's the large majority, we're always going to suffer. That's just the way the system is set up. But there are those individual stories where people say, nah, that did work out. Nah, this did work. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you say? You know, because if you're one of those few people that benefited, you're going to be like, nah, he really looked out. And, you know, the rest of us are just watching on the sidelines. So it's like, I hate to put Jay-Z and put his face on things that are systematic and things that we can get mad at de Blasio and Bloomberg about. I'm talking about on the New York City side, guys. I know the Philly mayors are just as shitty. I know the Chicago mayors are just as whack. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing for us working class folks, us blue collar folks, us people that's really out here. You know what I mean? So you know, call me a bad guy. I just hate putting a black man's face as the face of this type of shit. So I hate to say, hey, Jay-Z is this, but honestly, as a rich man, he is a part of it in some sort of way. You know what I mean? So there's people who are super knowledgeable about the inner workings of this shit, and they can really break down exactly how this is going to negatively affect. But I'm not knowledgeable enough to get up here and say Jay-Z sucks because everybody else on Twitter is saying it. You know what I'm saying? Do I trust it personally? Probably not. But, you know, I'm just another guy writing in the comments. You feel me?
Dini the balance. What are your thoughts?
I'm a little conflicted, man. As you mentioned, with the Barclays, you know, we chopped it up on the pod about that a bunch of years ago. It was a real deep conversation. A lot of y'all should spin back and check that out too. That was a real deep conversation. As far as this, I don't know, man. Whenever any rich nigga donates a big chunk of money to something, I always, in the back of my mind, I'm like, what is in this for you? This is not a Jay-Z thing per se. It's just anytime someone says, hey, here's $400 million. I'm like, whoa, like, that's a big chunk out of your pocket. Like, you know,
just
what I'm
like
saying?
That?
How is
Out of the
thank
goodness
you,
of your heart?
you know, thank you. But how are you going to recoup this? Is this like you get a car, everybody gets a car? You know what I'm saying? And just handing out a bunch of Nissans niggas because you're going to reclaim 400 million back. I don't know. Like, I even gonna front like I know Hov, man. I just know the nigga music. I listen to the nigga. The nigga's a smart nigga with investments, and he always sounds like he wanted to see a little better for the younger little niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna believe in this specifically for the younger little. Yo, Philly need it, bro. Like on some G shit. Like my Philly niggas in the chat know what it is. Y'all been to Philly? You know what I'm saying? Philly need that bread. Like, and I know 10% sounds wacky because that's 30 M's. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Them little niggas need that 30 M's. You get what I'm saying? And I feel weird to say that 270 got to get extracted and thrown into the ethos for them little niggas to get that 30. But them little niggas need that 30, bro. Like the reading levels going on in the States nowadays. I don't know if niggas is keeping up. You know what I'm saying? Due to my line of work, I be seeing little shit here and there. But like, yo, like it's bad out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember when we was kids and just everyone just knew how to read? And it just reading was just normal. Like it's not as normal today as it was, bro. So I think that even that little bit that I don't know what it's gonna do for each kid. I don't think just giving people money outright with no mental training on how to deal with money, like, and I don't want it to be like a baby mother situation. We just give her a bunch of your money and you just hope she spent it the right way. There needs to be like advisors, like, nah, keep it a bean, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't give you 300 million.
No, leave it to Dini.
You don't know where the money's going, my nigga. At the end
analogy,
of the day,
bro.
You don't know where the money's going. My thing is this:
that's the thing, Dini. Thank you.
Maybe you can hire some. You got 300 M's to give away. You can put a couple of M's behind some real financial advisors that can keep track of the shit. Some real accountants. You know what I'm saying? And maybe since you got 300 M's, put an accountant behind that accountant to make sure she's going where it's going. Like when we dealing with this kind of money, bro, ain't nothing out of possibility, my nigga. Ain't nothing can't be done. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. We got people.
That's the thing that people say about Billy. Oh, go ahead, Miss.
A lot of things is that it almost reads like fine print, right? Like he's offering this for private school vouchers, and if they do this, it gets that. Like I think people would rather just hear, hey, Jay-Z gave $100 million to Marcy High School. You know what I mean? Not saying, obviously, we know with the red tape and with the way this shit works, shit gets a little wacky, like Dean said. But I think when it gets to this type of, you know, rich people double talk that we can't quite, you know, understand, I think people like will be like, well, okay, I guess Jay-Z. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Sorry, what I was gonna say was that like that's what people say about billionaires. What Dini was saying, like you have this level of money and wealth to be able to, put the resources in the proper places where they need to be to actually impact this and turn the system that we're living within, like actually turn it around or actually, fix it or actually, like do what needs to be done for the common folk, but because the only way you get to be a billionaire is by working within the system that made you a billionaire. It's more beneficial to you, and your mind frame is already in a place where you're going to put your money into the system that got you that wealth and hope that it might work out for one of these kids. You know what I mean? Instead of spreading the wealth to where it'll be more beneficial to more kids down the road in the long run, playing the long game. He's looking out for, like maybe we could have another Jay-Z, you know what I mean, by putting it into these private schools.
But and that's the thing. Like, I don't know if enough people have accepted the fact that in order to reach a certain level of fiscal comfort in this country, it's not good. It's not clean. It's not a clean game. You know what I'm saying? That it's a tough thing to accept. But if most billionaires, unless they hit the lottery, and even then you got taxed with these new lottery numbers, so you're not even a billionaire on entry. You know what I'm saying? You have to play a dirty game. You have to play the dirty capitalist game. You're gonna do some things that you're gonna regret or not. I don't know. It's just nasty work. So from that perspective, you can't hold no billionaire in high regard as a person because they did some shit. It is what it is. They did some shit. Unless the person inherited the bread from a person who was a billionaire prior, like some of the old money people in New York City when they family inherited, then maybe we could change the argument. But the people, the infrastructure of the family, that person did some questionable things. I'm sure Jay-Z, and we've seen it in front of our own eyes, he's done some questionable things. But when it comes specifically to Philadelphia and where the city's at, I saw something in the Philadelphia Inquirer that says that they have like a $407 million deficit.
Sheesh.
For the educational system, not the city.
Right.
The public educational system is $407 million deficit.
Different.
Where's the money going? You know what I mean? Like we are worried about the wrong things. And the thing is, as New Yorkers, we wouldn't have known this unless the rich guy did something like this to where now everyone is looking. And yes, while we can beat up the rich dude, because I could argue, take that 300 M's and build a school. Do the LeBron thing. Just build a school and set it up to your likeness and set up a voucher system for kids to get into your personal private school, or start the Jay-Z charter system and throughout the East Coast or in the tri-state area and add Philly in and make it 4 states or 4 cities, pardon me, and really put it together that way, because I think this was just supposed to be a headline. And because things are so fucked up fiscally with the Philadelphia school system, he looked crazy. Like, and Jay not the type of guy that could get in front of a microphone and really talk it through and be like, you know what, I fucked up and this is what we had in mind. He never does that at a high level. It is what it is. He's a great rapper, but like I've said in the past, when it comes to getting in front of a podium or getting in front of a group of people and talking us through why he did the things he did and why he thinks it should be this way, he doesn't do a good job. So it's like we just left here to just be upset and have think pieces and podcast segments trying to figure out why he did what he did, because it's just like, fam, did you not know before you said yes to this that the city is in need? Or do you think that the city is so messed up with the educational system to where it maybe benefits black kids in those impoverished areas to go to the private school and get the help that they need educationally? And if that's the case, then you need to come out and say that, and then we can move on with our lives. But you can't go quiet now. We need to understand it. What was the vision?
Well, he's probably going to say something along the lines, or like it'll be the school version or the education version of "We're past kneeling." You know what I mean?
We
It'll
don't
be
need that
along those lines. You know what I mean? It'll be something along the lines of like, we need to look past how the system has failed us, how the country has failed us,
Right.
how the promise of America never really came true, and just deal with that reality and move forward from this point on in whatever way we best can. You know what I mean? And it seems to me that he feels like the best way to do it is to just, accept the system and play within it and try to, make your way within the system, however fucked it is. You know what I mean?
Isn't that now, Michael Brown? You made a point, and I agree with you. Like this is not going to fix anything. But isn't that kind of what America's been telling everyone to do from its inception? These are the rules. This is the game that was, and this is how it's meant to be played. Or
yeah,
it ain't no revolutions to revolt against in this country. This is the game.
But that's the thing. Like, I mean, this has been Jay-Z his entire career. Like, so I don't know how.
He doesn't know. We're not even talking about hope. He don't get a pass here. This is a bad play by him in the overarching argument of it all for me. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah. But like I think I don't see how people will expect any other type of move other than a hyper capitalist move to to play and to be the ultimate hustle and play within the system of the system that we have, instead of trying to, like, somehow break it or fix it or revamp it. Like, he's always told you this is the system that we have. This is the hand that was dealt, and I made these moves to get to the place where I'm at within this system. And he's always going to approach it from that point of view. And he's always going, that's going to be what he teaches his kids. That's going to be what he wants for these kids in Philadelphia is, stop trying to, like, quote unquote, free the slaves. You know what I mean? This is the country that we have. This is the system that we have. You got to make your way in it. And there's no other way around that. You know what I mean?
All right. I mean, I see the vision, The game is rigged. I mean, if you ask any person of color, they'll tell you that the game is rigged, and you got to figure your way out within this rigged game. And again, I don't agree with what he did, but he peeped that the game was rigged early and decided I'm gonna be good at this cheating ass game. You know what I mean? I got all the word to Grand Theft. I got all the codes. I'm gonna use them shits. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you make us look, and that's the thing. We the only people like, man. I don't want to get into that, but I just feel like we always end up looking crazy when one nigga that don't even know us do some shit. And this is like another episode of that. But Masito, you hear, the people. We not gonna spend too much time on it because we spent almost an hour on it already. But we gotta hear from you. We gotta bring it back to the top. Everybody, before you do that, make sure you hit the like button, run the comments up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Just one question. Don't spend too much time. We need your perspective. Does Kendrick Lamar, as of right now, run rap?
Does Kendrick Lamar run rap right now? Yeah, Kendrick Lamar runs rap right now.
Ouch.
Kendrick Lamar runs rap right now. I mean, it's a fluid title, bro. It's a fluid title, bro.
He said, "You ain't academic in me, right?"
Nah, man. Nah, I gotta keep it a rap. You know what I mean?
Talk about it, man.
Not in my household, but the rap game is vast in far. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it a buck. The hottest concert that everybody is dying to wait to see what's gonna happen. The Kenny and Friends show. You know what I mean? The hottest 2 songs, Not Like Us and Like That, this summer. Everybody asking about summer tracks. Job, you mentioned that. We got 2 of them. Both got Kendrick Lamar on them. Won the battle of the century, the best battle since 2001. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What's the argument here? You know what I'm saying? Drake fans, 2 threes, OVO headquarters. Haven't we had enough years to us not to front that this year we got it? Like, let's be real here. Come on now. There was big debate about that? Deanie, what did you say, bro?
Nah, I kept it a bean.
You kept it a bean?
We gotta keep it a buck.
Man,
I don't know if you kept it a whole bean.
He's the guy.
There was some soil and maybe some fertilizer for a bean in the future, but I don't know if you kept it a bean.
Every rapper at every concert is crip walking and moonwalking to Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are openly admitting. I see niggas on the Breakfast Club going and talking about how Kendrick whooped Drake. Like, niggas are openly talking about this. Like, come on, man. This is Nas old too, bro. Like, you can argue for Jay if you want to. I'm not.
One more question for you, Masito. Drake throwing subs at Kendrick on his Instagram. Why do you think he's still trying to fan this flame of a battle he supposedly, or based on the public and based on us as a pod, has already lost?
Hey man, we all been sore losers, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It happens, man. Like I can't be mad at him. We all went into this, me, you, and Dean included. We all thought the same thing Drake thought. You know what I'm saying? I think that Drake still thinks that the other side cheated to win. You know what I'm saying? That's where Drake is coming from. So yeah, he's still
the guy that lied
so-
about his
so-
facts said the other guy cheated.
Hey,
So
man.
he on his Trump shit.
Hey,
it was
man.
vibes.
You gotta say stop the count.
I don't want to get too political on the round table. You know what I'm saying? But Trump might come back. We don't know, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right now,
it's looking like
bro.
Right now, I can't even say that as a might. It's looking shaky right now.
Shaky right now. You know
that situation is going 7 games. Okay, it's going 7.
No.
In Ohio and Florida, we are looking at you. Anyway, so Drake,
yo,
I you know what, Mase, you did a good job, you know, of keeping it 1,000 with us with this situation. But stay right there before we got one quick segment before we get out of here, and it's J. Cole. He did a joint with Thames. He seems like he's recovered from Grippy Gate. Do you feel that that J. Cole is back on track? Is he finding his mojo again?
Absolutely not. Nah, he needs to keep hiding in Tesla stores and getting unrecognized by the owners. He needs to stay. You know what I mean?
Stay on the beach.
You feel me? I don't know if he's trying to be, the hip hop Bilal right now with these songs he's doing. You know what I mean? J. Cole, he needs to listen.
That's a throwback. Bilal.
You know what I mean? Yes. I need to let him know we're not as young as they think, man. You feel me?
What was the other guy? It was Bilal or Jamiroquai. That was the other dude.
There you go.
Jamiroquai. That wasn't
Music Soul Child, Jamiroquai. That's
Soulquarian
niggas.
Oh man.
To say the rap style, J. Cole back on track or finding his way yet again?
Maybe in the right direction. Maybe in a better direction than Grippy was. I still feel that title is weird.
Yeah, a better direction than Grippy.
That's youth lingo. That's not for us old people.
No, I understand. But I'm, you know what I mean? Like I listened to the Thames record. I heard his verse. I was like, you know what I mean? For a non-rap song with a rap feature, he came off. You know what I mean? But it's still not a rap record. You know what I mean? I still feel like he's noticeably avoiding, stepping back into the arena of rap. You know what I mean? Yeah, Grippy is technically a rap record, but it's not rap. It's not what we talk about here. You know what I mean?
Not the cloth hasn't approved it.
It's
not cloth approved.
Approved.
And then you know what I mean? And then the softer Thames record. Yeah, man, like again, I like the verse, but it's not. I still feel like he's actively avoiding a certain lane by going in these two different directions.
For a guy who says he don't do the social media things, he done heard everything everybody had to say, huh?
Online.
Dean, talk to me. Is he back on track?
No way that nigga's back on track. And he don't need to be. He needs a break, man. You see, there was no bass. Like everything from like prior to Grippy has been like bass. Aggressive, Cole, bringing on the competition. No, this was like love, niggas, nice, peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A little nice, soft voice on the record. I think that's where he needs to stay right now. I'm personally am not ready for combative Cole right now. He needs to take a break. Take a summer off from combative Cole. Maybe when it gets cooler outside, I'll accept it. But as of right now, Thames it up. You know what I'm saying? Make some calls. Quick.
Make some calls.
Get right and make some bops. That's what make bops.
Hey, listen, we just talked about the Soulquarian movement. Maybe he can.
Maybe that's the place.
Maybe he could,
drop a full album.
Call one of the Marley brothers, get a dread-like mix.
You know what I mean?
Get a dread mix in there somewhere.
Call up Eric Benet.
Flash it only.
I shot the sheriff
call
part
up Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
Blueprint too.
Fly shit only gets it, and we love it. All right, so quick story time with Jaw, right? I'm gonna go back to summer 2003, right?
Okay.
I'm in Brownsville.
Good
It's
year.
it's a nice day. It wasn't too humid that day. I was sitting next to my cousin Melissa. We was on the stoop. True story. This is 100% true story.
Salute.
I'm gonna leave certain names out because it's the true story. So, homie moved next door to my cousin Melissa, right? And he wasn't affiliated with the people. Oh, he wasn't affiliated with the necessary affiliations of that neighborhood, right? So he was running into some problems. They used to throw pennies and batteries at his door, all types of shit, right? But then over time, because homeboy, he stayed out the way for the most part. This seems like I think there's some politics happening. It was like, leave bro alone, whatever. They started to cool out and leave bro alone. The batteries and the pennies stopped flying. Everyone could go outside. Plus, the women's in old boy families used to fight. They used to get active. So the guys used to like when the girls would fight, shit like that. One day we on that porch, not on the porch, on the stoop, and to my left, they're having a dice game. It's three of them, right? Dice game, you know how it go. It gets a little loud,
Hectic.
Homeboy casually goes back into the crib. There was no argument or nothing discernible that you could feel like this dice game is going left. But he went inside to the crib, came back out, had the automatic on him, and walked back to the dice game. He never said nothing. Everybody cleared out. They ran away from the dice game. From that point forward, homeboy was good in the neighborhood, good on the porch, the stoop, good in the dice games. His kids was good. Everybody was good. All he had to do was go in the crib, go get the grips diddly, you know what I mean? Like the little meme, and let niggas know you're gonna stop playing with me. Now you're trying to rob me. I threw batteries at the crib. Like, stop playing with me. And I think that J. Cole needs to do what that young man did that day in Brownsville and said, "Oh, y'all niggas think I'm pussy. I've been playing nice. And maybe I might have did some things that are questionable. Even living in this particular neighborhood was questionable, but I'm not pussy, and I will go get that thing. I keep it on me. If y'all keep playing, I think it's time for him to come outside. Because how much times can we keep playing with his name as a pod, as rappers? He got to come outside.
I hear you.
Go get the grip.
I hear you.
Go get the grip.
You know why? Because the only
you.
nigga you not trying to shoot is the nigga you need to
though.
shoot. That's the one nigga you not trying to pull a grip on, though. The nigga you need to shoot.
But at a certain point, after you live there for a while and they playing with your name, you got to go get the thing.
Right, but pause. His gun is bigger. It shoot faster. The clip is bigger.
But sometimes niggas just knowing that you got it on you, they respect it. I'm telling you, I saw it. He went to the crib. He didn't say a word. I swear to God, he didn't say a word. He came back with it on him, right back to the game. They cleared out, and they never played with him again. It was an understanding from that point.
I'm surprised niggas respected it. I'm surprised. If you see the gun and nobody gets shot, niggas don't even
sometimes
respect
niggas just think you pussy. It's not even about street shit. They just think you pussy. And you got to show them that you're not.
Having to burn it on.
And John, what I think there was always homeboy who ran back in the house. There was always a chance when he came back outside that King Von was outside. And that's what he's worried about right now, lyrically, I think. I think he's worried about, you know what I mean? I think he's just a little nervous. Maybe if he didn't just see a massacre out in front of the stoop, he might have a little, you know.
But you know the rules are in the neighborhood. When it's that close, sometimes there's an understanding. But we could chill out. But you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think if happened at the dice game, and I think Cole need to play the if card. Or we gonna clown him forever. He gonna make love songs, grippy. You really trying to sneak into another lane? We see you, bro.
Yeah. But
I think he should take a break. That shit only works when everybody else don't got a gun next to you.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And everybody else got the hammer.
A faster jaw,
Chill out,
a quicker trigger finger. Nah, you don't want to just show it. You're gonna have to be faster.
You show you're gonna have to pull it faster. You're gonna have to pull the trigger faster.
And that's where he messed up.
Come on, bro.
If he'd have came back outside a month ago, it would have just been a fist fight. Now it's a gunfight.
But that's why I'm saying he got to wild out.
He bugged out. He wilded out.
You know, let's get to the super chats.
Put himself
You
in a
know,
bad
J. Cole, I still
situation.
got hope that you can be my
It's over.
cousin's old neighbor and do what's necessary to get some respect placed on your name.
Right.
It's 344 y'all in the room right now. Make sure y'all hit that like button before you get up out of here. On the way out, hit that like. We don't even ask for no bread, no cash out, no. Just hit the like. You doing that keeps us in the algorithm, keeps us active, keeps us dominating how we need to dominate. And again, tomorrow 6:30 p.m. Episode 99 is a classic one in studio, no interviews, so y'all don't gotta panic. We had a blast in studio, mid-season awards. Make sure y'all lock in with that. It was a hell of an episode. Crazy Megan Thee Stallion debate, and not even a debate. Deanie went off the deep end about Megan Thee Stallion. I'm gonna tell you right now. It wasn't a debate.
Bro.
He went off the cliff.
The
It's
return,
me,
the
it's
return.
me.
And what's the name of the new white guy they trying to say is hip hop sin? What's his name again?
Tommy Richmond.
Tommy Richmond. We had to put Tommy Richmond in his proper perspective. It was a hell of an episode. Make sure y'all pull up. Great episode.
We
Let's
won't
get
be
to
late
the
for
super
that.
chats so we can get up out of here. Mike H with the super chat off top saying house cleaning on my part. I put Kenny top 5 a few weeks ago. He's gonna need another classic to get that spot. So he's rescinding the top 5 status.
Oh wow.
And it's pending.
Wow.
All right, Mike H.
Wow.
Say this one's for you.
Interesting, right?
All right. Cam Cobain. Kedar is just showing why he's the GOAT rapper of this generation without being the most popular rapper. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. People be calling me all types of glazer, whatever. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Whatever. To me, like I always say, if whoever's calling you a glazer is glazing the person that you're talking about. Against, I should say.
Always.
Dini.
Kate at number 2 all time. Nas is number 1. Hov is number 3.
Oh,
wow.
That's interesting.
That's brave, James. Brave, man.
Top rope.
Where's LL, James? Hitman 1887. This is what Drake fans be talking about. It's perfect one for me to do that. Niggas gonna make Drake sound like the worst person ever. No way he was dissing the college. Shaking my head. Never could win. Yeah, he was not dissing the college. And why did it take for Drake to wear this shirt for Kendrick to go make an announcement at his school? Hitman, fantastic super chat, bro.
Wow, bro. That's crazy, bro. Okay. Rafael Rodriguez, one of our day ones. Costa recovering from the unclothization. Yeah, man. It is what it is.
Unclothified facts, man.
The cloth. I'm telling you, that's our new rating system. The cloth is either gonna approve you or disapprove you. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah. Davis Lewis, love. Shouts to you. If Drake is not considered amongst the best because of ghostwriters, he shouldn't be getting into battles. It's easy to battle when you have writers.
I mean, he ain't winning them shits.
Yeah, I mean,
2 L's.
There's
J.
There's a point there, but again, we know he has writers for certain types of records. You know what I mean? We've yet to hear any reference tracks for any of the timestamp records and shit like that. So you know what I mean? Again, we go back to the fact that he can rap. He can rap. He's a good writer.
Sin with the nuance. We love it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He can rap.
They don't like that when we get nuance at the rap.
Nah, I know. He just can't rap well enough to, you know what I mean, beat certain MCs in a real battle. You know what I mean? He lost to Pusha.
Let's move on.
He lost to Kendrick.
Antoine Jackson with the $5 holla. Salute to you, good brother. DD tap in.
Humble bragger. Ye and Drake creative process is different. Ye creates from scratch and even tells his writers what to say. Drake copy and paste the records. Fuck out of here.
Not humble bragger trying to finesse ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is ghostwriting.
No. But I do I saw several people in the comments say, Drake is the same as Ye basically, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. I hate when people do that because there's a whole producer bag for Ye. You know what I mean? Which Drake he's never even delved into that realm. So you can't make a false equivalency between those two.
Now you're right.
Antoine Jackson, the community college was a troll because of Whitney. She went there. The smoke and mirrors are on Kendrick. Drake haters seem like they have a crush on him. Antoine, listen to this. I didn't even realize. I thought Kendrick just went there alone. I didn't know, Whitney went there too. I don't know what those vibes mean. She wasn't at the speech though. Interesting.
So it's the shadow war we having here with Drake and Kendrick, huh?
Hey,
Oh yes, we get more bars later this year. Then that's all that means.
that's what I mean for sure.
He definitely looks down at the
He
community.
ain't quit.
Mhm.
Apparently.
I am Aboriginal, bruh, butt hurt. Kendrick spanked him. Pause. All he can do is troll at this point. Yeah,
Essentially. Yeah.
Hey, man.
yeah, sir.
Jay, shouts to you, man. Drake doing that shit them boxers do, like Tank do teat and delete. I don't know what that means.
Tweet. Yeah.
Oh,
I think he
tweet and
meant
delete.
Wait and delete.
Tweet and delete. Copy. By the way, it's good to hear Deanie admit Drake got smoked. Ha ha ha. Salute, fellas, and where's Mase?
Shit,
Right
I
here.
showed up, man.
On deck.
I showed
And
up for the
Dini-
lashing, bro.
And Deanie, the last two are yours.
All right. Bailerism. All hell the West. Hi, Dini. Baylor, have my weed ready when I pull up, nigga. And again, Bailerism. Pretty difficult to give the West Cat. Yo, we gave him his props. I hope the show is amazing. I think it will be. Nigga, spend some money and go.
One thing about some of these West Coast rap fans, they like to play victim a lot. They like to be the victim. I'm noticing
crazy.
that. If
Like
you don't
they haven't
say
been-
what they want to say, they play victim.
Like they
I'm
haven't
talking
been
to
a
you, Baylor,
staple in the
specifically.
culture for fucking forever at this
Shouts
point.
to Kendrick being in that New York apartment when he was cooking up them dishes. You know what I mean? I'm
You
sure
know
the
where you need to
vibes,
be.
the
That
vibe
energy.
gave him, you know what he needed. You heard?
That's where you at.
Besito, you know what I mean? Take us home, bro. It's your first live back.
In a
You
minute,
got
right?
the 4-man. Let's lock in. Take us home, bro.
Cook.
Fantastic Four, we here. You know, I'm Macito. I'm still recovering from May 2024 myself, y'all. It's been a long month. But I'm Macito. You know, we got Dini the Balance over here. He's chefing up as usual. That's the homie. We got Sincere the Rap Snob, the super producer. And the credit near you soon come. And then we got Jaw the Goat over there, man. The master, as we calling them these days. You seen the
Talk
photos,
about it.
but we are the Fantastic Four. We the Rap Roundtable, and we out of here, man.
You
Sir.
dig?
Episode 99 tomorrow. Lock in.
Yes,
6:30 p.m. Pull up.
Sir.
Peace.